안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon-Soo-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from K-pop to K-literature, K-arts, K-everything. And before you know, you'll be booking your flight to Korea. For today's show, we are joined by our co-host Walter Lee. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Seoul, and hello everyone at home. I'm Walter Lee. I have the latest updates in K-entertainment world, so stay tuned for that.
Walter, did you get a chance to watch the celebrations at the Nobel Prize Awards?
Yes, I did actually get to see Arirang's live streaming of the awards, so I got to experience the beautiful ceremony that was awarded to Kang.
It was really a very meaningful moment, but for our viewers who might have missed the celebrations, we have covered it all today. So over in Sweden, it was a historic night for Korea as author Kang became the first Korean to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. Our culture correspondent NewJeans takes us through the highlights.
Dear Kang, on behalf of the Swedish Academy, it is my privilege to convey to you our warmest congratulations on the Nobel Prize in Literature 2024.
History was written at the Stockholm Concert Hall on Tuesday. The author, Kang, the first Korean and Asian female Nobel laureate in literature.
In Han's world, people are wounded, fragile, and sometimes weak, and yet they possess just enough strength and just the right kind of strength to take another step or ask another question, request another document, or interview another surviving witness.
After this 5-minute presentation speech, Han stepped forward to receive the Nobel Prize diploma and medal from Sweden's Carl Gustaf. Despite the crisp cold weather, many gathered outside the Stockholm Concert Hall to celebrate Han's historic win, South Korea's second Nobel Prize, following former President Kim Dae-jung's Peace Prize in 2000.
We wanted to celebrate Kang, so we were very happy that she got the Nobel Prize. It's a great honor to come from the same country.
I'm the editor-in-chief of our school's newspaper, and we published a special edition immediately after Kang was named this year's Nobel Prize winner. I felt very proud and honored.
After the hour-long ceremony, the celebrations moved to Stockholm City Hall. About 1,300 distinguished guests, including the laureates and the Swedish royal family, attended the Nobel Prize banquet. At the end of the banquet, one laureate from each category delivered a speech of thanks. Kang gave her speech forth.
올해 노벨 문학상 수상자를 소개하게 되어 영광입니다.
In the darkest night, there is language that asks what we are made of, that insists on imagining into the first-person perspectives of the people and living beings that inhabit this planet. Language that connects us one another. Literature that deals in this language inevitably holds a kind of body heat. Just as inevitably, the work of reading and writing literature stands in opposition to all acts that destroy life. I would like to share the meaning of this award, which is for literature, with you.
So with just one day left in Nobel Week 2024, Kang is set to hold a press conference with the Korean media on Wednesday afternoon. She will then complete her Nobel Week journey by attending the Nobel Foundation's concluding reception on Thursday. 송유진, Arirang News, Stockholm.
It's probably the first time for many Koreans, or the first time in more than 2 decades, that they watched the whole, celebrations, the whole proceedings. And I mean, really watching this Korean author standing there at the podium in Sweden was itself very touching, I have to say. What about you, Walter?
Yeah, I definitely think as a Korean descendant that I am very proud that she has represented Korea in this way, and she's only expanding Korean literature as well. You know, we are getting more involved internationally. Korea is becoming bigger and bigger in all different fields, and now we can say proudly that we are influencing literature outside of Korea.
Right. And I also thought it was very meaningful to hear that little bit of Korean there at this international event when Han was introduced in Korean, right?
Yes, so although she spoke in English when she received her award, we were able to hear her hold her lecture in Korean as well. And it was great to hear the beautiful language of Korean on the international stage. So it's just great to see that Korea is, as I said, penetrating the world.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of the world and the international stage, now with Han Kang being a Nobel laureate, there is probably going to be an impact in Korean literature beyond the Korean peninsula. So let's take a look at this next report. Author Han Kang's achievement of winning the prize holds significance in representing the growth of Korean literature on the global stage. Jin tells us more.
Korean literature was first introduced to the West by missionaries shortly after the country's liberation, after the Korean War. And the first time Korean modern literature was critiqued was 40 years ago in the mid-1990s. That was when Korean literature, with both literary value and popular appeal, was introduced to Europe, starting with the novels of writer Lee Mun-yeol, beginning a craze for Korean literature among publishers overseas. Around the same time, in 1996, the Korean Literature Translation Fund was established, which led to the establishment of today's Literature Translation Institute of Korea. Into the 2000s, the publishing industry and the government began sustainable support for the advancement of writers abroad, including participation in overseas book exhibitions. Han Kang's Nobel Prize for Literature is symbolic in that it shows the status of Korean literature on the global stage brought about by years of such efforts.
Korean writers have won several literary awards in Europe, recognizing the authenticity of Korean literature. The role of translation and the history of gaining recognition over the years made this possible. It wasn't a sudden overnight achievement.
The transformation of mainstream British and American literature, represented by the Nobel Prize for Literature, is also surprising. Of the 121 Nobel Prize laureates in literature since 1901, only 18 have been female, including Han Kang, and she is the fifth Asian winner by nationality. Amidst criticism of underrepresentation that the Nobel Prize in Literature has been a Eurocentric male affair, this year it has been awarded to an Asian woman writer in her mid-50s.
I think there has been a trend of decentralization from what used to be centered on Western cultures, centered on men. I think it is a symbolic event that reflects the changing trends in the mainstream literary world.
There is analysis that Han Kang's achievement of the Nobel Prize in Literature represents the positive influence of K-wave spreading Korean culture around the world, as well as British and American literature opening its doors to Asians and women. Jin, Arirang News.
And it is time for Walter Lee's K-Enter News. Walter, we have some NewJeans news, but this time it's not about their legal battle.
Yes, we have some NewJeans news. So, NewJeans' song Supernatural, one of the hottest releases of the year, has been recognized as one of the best songs of 2024 by the New York Times. It also happens to be the only K-pop song on this prestigious list this year. So this list was announced on Tuesday, New York local time. Now, this is actually, interestingly enough, not the first time NewJeans has been on this honored list in the New York Times. Their debut track, Cookie, was previously included in the newspaper's Best Songs of 2022, where it was also the only K-pop song that year to be featured. Now, 2 years later, it can have the honor to be recognized again as the only K-pop song on the best songs list.
Nice.
Now, they seem to have this really good relationship with New York Times, as in addition to that, the musical achievements, they were also included in the New York Times Most Stylish People of the Year in 2023, further cementing their influence of the world.
Well, I have to agree to that because, I mean, their Y2K fashion was immensely popular around the world.
Right.
Now, Walter, let's move on to one of your favorite boy groups,
Yes.
ATEEZ. You seem to report a lot about them.
Yes, I seem to report about them every week. So on Tuesday, Korean local time, the American media outlet Consequence announced its list of the 200 best songs of 2024. Now, according to the list, ATEEZ's title track, Work, from their 10th mini album, Golden Hour Part 1, ranked 51st. Notably, the group achieved the highest ranking among K-pop artists. Now, Consequence, the media outlet, praised Work, stating the infectious energy of ATEEZ inject in their music is comparable to their impressive live performances, which has been stated and complimented a lot in other media outlets as well. Now, the single provided a space where their unique enthusiasm truly shines through. Now, also last Saturday, Korean local time, ATEEZ achieved another milestone when Billboard placed Ice on My Teeth, which I actually mentioned on Wednesday, on Monday, from their 11th mini album Golden Hour Part 2. It was third on a list of the 25 best K-pop songs of 2024 style picks. This ranking marked the highest position for the group.
So congrats to them.
Yes.
Now we're going to finish off with 여자친구, girlfriend, but not your 여자친구.
Yes, not my 여자친구, not my girlfriend. So Source Music announced on Tuesday that all the tickets for Girlfriend or 여자친구's special 10th anniversary concerts have sold out. Now, the Season Memories concerts, scheduled for the 18th and the 19th of January at the Olympic Hall in Songpa-gu district in Seoul, sold out shortly after the sales opened on Monday. Now, ahead of the concerts, 여자친구 or Girlfriend will release some new music on this January 6th. They will pre-release a new single at noon, followed by the launch of their special album, Seasons of Memories, on the January 13th at 6 p.m. Now, 여자친구 or Girlfriend are also set to mark their 10th anniversary by performing at the 39th Golden Disc Awards, which will take place on January 5th, and also PayPay Dome in Fukuoka, Japan.
Oh, it's been already 10 years.
I can't believe that.
that they have been the 여자친구 of all the K-pop fans who
Yes.
are in love with the girl group. So thank you very much, Walter, for those news,
No
and
worries.
stick around.
Will do.
And now time to check out other culture-related news with our AI anchor, Ari.
Join us on the Culture Wave AI News as we dive into Korea's cultural highlights. Let's get started with today's top story. A cultural festival celebrating Korean Day has been successfully held in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. Despite the country's challenging economic conditions, the event drew approximately 70,000 attendees. The festival featured over 40 booths, offering a taste of Korean cuisine, traditional hanbok experiences, K-pop merchandise, and Korean language learning materials. A special booth showcasing works by Kang, this year's Nobel Prize winner in literature, also garnered significant attention from visitors. Kang's landmark Nobel Prize win is being celebrated across Korea.
and the country's southernmost island is no exception. Jeju Island will hold a special book exhibition themed stories of Han Kang's profound love. Starting Thursday, the exhibition will feature over 50 of Han Kang's works, including We Do Not Part, a novel that delves into the Jeju April 3rd uprising. Han has made history as the first Korean and the first Asian woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. The Pictet Gilt Bronze Incense Burner, the treasure of treasures and a cultural heritage symbolizing Korea, is being showcased in Daegu for the first time in almost 3 decades. Marking its 30th anniversary, the Daegu National Museum opened a special exhibition that explores the use of incense in daily life from the Three Kingdoms period to the Joseon Dynasty. Visitors can get a first-hand look at over 370 artifacts, including incense burners and bowls of various shapes, as well as literary works and paintings inspired by incense. The Pictet incense burner will be on display until January 9. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more cultural updates and engaging discussions coming your way.
Every week, we connect live to a correspondent overseas to fill us in on K-culture news in their respective countries. They have been selected based on their love and interest in Korean culture. Now today, we will go over to Chicago in the U.S. Chicago is known as a city of culture and sports, and recently, the world-renowned Art Institute of Chicago reopened a gallery dedicated fully to the arts of Korea for visitors to experience Korean arts and culture up close. For more, we are now connected to our K-correspondent Yeonsu Ji, or Ji Yeonsu, in Chicago. Hello, Yeonsu.
Hello, Yeonsu.
Hi, Sua. How are you?
We're good. Thank you for joining us today. So please, first of all, introduce yourself to the Culture Wave viewers, and including what you do in terms of raising awareness of Korean culture or Korean arts in your case.
Okay, so I work as a Korean art curator at the Art Institute of Chicago. And as a curator, my foremost duty involves taking care of the Korean collection at the Art Institute, also acquiring some objects to increase the Korean collection, and of course, managing the Korean art gallery and organizing Korean art exhibitions. Besides that, I also do programs such as gallery talks and the public lectures. And besides that, I also teach the Korean art history at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. So I think every activities that I do daily basis involves raising the awareness of Korean art and culture here in Chicago.
That's excellent. So can you tell us a bit about the influence of Korean culture and the Korean wave in Chicago? Is the growing popularity of Hallyu something you feel in your daily life?
I think I can say that for sure. Foremost, when I opened the Korean gallery in November, there was really a lot of requests to share the stories of the Korean gallery from the local medias and the organizations. So that's one indication. And then around the same time, I also co-organized the Contemporary Korean Art Conference, and it was so well attended. And it wasn't just the students who study Korean art and the local Korean Americans. There was a great turnout of the general public who were just genuinely interested in Korean art and culture. And besides that, also, I see the growing number of Korean restaurants, Korean grocery stores, and shops selling the Korean goods. So I think I can confidently say that the influence of Korean art and culture and Hallyu is definitely felt in my daily life.
That's good to hear. Now, let's delve into the recently reopened gallery fully dedicated to Korean art pieces, the Arts of Korea Gallery at the Art Institute of Chicago. Yeonsu, you are curating this exhibition. So first off, what's behind this expansion?
So when I first joined the Art Institute in 2022, I was the first Korean art curator of the Art Institute Chicago. We never had a Korean art curator. So in a way that Korean art was underrepresented, to say the least. But while I was researching the collection, I quickly realized that we have so many wonderful pieces sitting in our storage, not represented in the Korean gallery due to the lack of space and also some other limitations. Because we had a Korean art gallery before, but the gallery was located in the pathway, and it has a pros and cons. Of course, it has a great exposure. Almost every visitor that entering the Art Institute will walk by the Korean art gallery. But the one thing that I really felt sure about is that they didn't have this kind of awareness that they are in the Korean art gallery because it was such an open space. And also because of because it was located in the pathway, we have a little bit higher the light level, which limit the kind of a display of the paintings or the metal works or wooden sculptural works. So to address those the various limitations presenting the Korean works, I kind of proposed to expand and relocate the Korean gallery to a different location. And the proposal was well received by the leadership at the Art Institute because they all felt that there need to be a better representation of the Korean collection at the Art Institute. And thankfully, we were able to find the gallery between the Chinese and Japanese galleries, which in a way that intuitively representing the geographical location of the 3 East Asian countries. So I was very thrilled to kind of relocate the Korean gallery in a better and a bigger space. And now I'm able to represent more diverse materials from the collection, from the paintings and textiles and metalworks and wooden sculptures, not just the ceramics.
Yeonsu, that's fantastic to hear. Now, I have a two-part question for you. First, what are some of the new collections and which pieces would you recommend to visitors? If you could please introduce us to those works.
Well, I think there are so many new the items in the Korean gallery because previously we only showed the ceramics, but also it isn't just the objects that are newly acquired or newly entered the collection, but also there are many new ideas explored in the Korean gallery, such as the Buddhist art and then Celadon and tea cultures and Confucianism and white porcelain and etc. So in the new gallery, we have 2 cases dedicated to the Celadon from the Goryeo dynasty, because that is the most important collection at our museum. And with that, we're presenting the Celadon in 2 different ways. One in relation with the tea ceremonies, and then the other, we are looking at the beautiful motifs and then techniques exclusively. And to kind of better help the visitors to better understand those techniques and then symbolism, we also newly created interactive feature introducing the sangam or innate technique, and then all these the beautiful and then the auspicious symbolism behind the beautiful motifs and how the objects would have been used at the time. And then in the Buddhist art section, the highlight is an 18th century Buddhist statue, the Buddha. It is really special because the object entered to the Art Institute in 2022, but it has some the condition issues, so it was never been able to shown in the gallery. But it is such a beautiful piece. So when I saw it in storage, I just so eager to show it in the gallery when I reopened the Korean gallery. So I discussed it with our object conservator for several times, and then she really spent several months to address those condition issues. And then now it is beautifully restored, and then it is on view for the first time after more than 100 years since the object entered the Art Institute of Chicago collection.
Now, Yeonsu, so
yes.
I believe there has been already some positive response by the visitors so far, but are there any special services designated to help navigate the exhibition for them?
Yes, so for this exhibition, for the Korean the visitors, we have the Korean object titles included in every object label. And besides that, we have an app, the museum app, and then in that there's a feature called the Essentials Tour, and then that feature is provided in Korean as in audio or as in written descriptions. So the Essentials Tours include some of the most iconic objects in our museum. So this is a great way to kind of navigate the visit while they are at the Art Institute.
And last but not least, how long does the exhibition run? And also, are there any upcoming events we should know of?
Well, the exhibition is actually in our permanent collection gallery, so it's a permanent exhibition. So whenever you come to the Art Institute, you will be still there. But there are two very special objects that will be on view until only early February, which are the gold crown and the gold belt from the Shilla Kingdom. They are designated as a treasure by the Korean government and is special loan and then special viewing. So I hope the visitors will come before those two objects go back to Korea. And then to highlight those two objects, I have the public lecture scheduled in January 30th. So I'm going to exclusively discuss the kind of meanings and then intricate techniques behind the making of those gold belts and the gold crowns.
Looking forward to that if I could be there. So thank you, Yeonsu, for curating us through the Arts of Korea Gallery. And we hope for many visitors to learn more about Korean arts and culture through this special exhibition.
Well, thank you for inviting me and to share this story of the Korean Gallery.
Thank you. And thank you, Walter, as always. We'll see you back later.
Yeah, see you later this week.
Yes. And thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave, and hope you join us again on Thursday at 2 p.m. Korea time, and maybe one day here in Korea.